guys. As I mentioned, I'm Jane. I am an Occupy member, and I would like to first say a few words about the effects of the TPP, which is the Transpacific Partnership, which is a free trade agreement, which means it's not free at all. And I want to talk about how it relates to finance. It's really, truly horrific because it puts interests of corporations. Corporations are profit-seeking entities that exist only on paper. And it puts the interests of these corporations ahead of the people, real people who are flesh and blood. We've already heard about how the TPP will affect our internet freedoms, how it will harm our food supply and harm our ecological landscape and harm our indigenous people. But so when we hear about things like that, it's really hard for us to start thinking about economics and finance because that seems so far away from our daily necessities. But that is so important to look at because a prerequisite for social justice is economic justice. The TPP is something that will circumvent people processes. They will circumvent these with they will circumvent the democratic government of the people and all grassroots groups. Occupy, along with other community groups, have been more and more successfully vocal about financial reforms. That is exactly why financial corporations like Citigroup and Bank of America and Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs have joined together under the umbrella of the U.S. Business Coalition for TPP to push for certain parts of the agreement. The biggest infringement on the economic rights of the people is the fact that it will empower financial firms to directly attack government policies in foreign tribunals and demand taxpayer compensation for policies that they claim unfairly determine their expected future profits. What government policies are we talking about that will be so unfair? Precisely those that will help the people get out from under the thumb of the financiers. Those policies that grassroots groups have been fighting for. The people want eminent domain enrichment. This would help pioneer a way for local governments to help underwater homeowners so that entire neighborhoods can be safe from the blight of foreclosures. The people want a ban on risky financial products so that the toxic derivatives that cause the financial crisis will not be there anymore. The people want public banks so that public projects can be financed without millions of dollars going to the pockets of the Wall Street financiers. The people want the Federal Reserve to not be there anymore, to be a private corporation. They want it to be part of the Treasury so that money would be created by a public entity instead of private Wall Street banks. Because all these financial reforms will curb Wall Street's profitability, they would be illegal under the TPP. But that is the whole point of these policies, to curb profitability from banks. Because these actions that make their profitability endanger the welfare of the people. We need these policies, the ones that the people want. Because Wall Street Bank's profitability is equal to our demise as a people. We are here to protest the TPP because there is no such thing as unfair competition from a democratically elected government. Because certain things and certain tasks of government should never be for profit. Because the profit motive for these things will lead to truly horrific outcomes. Prisons should not be run for profit. War should not be waged for profit. Money should not be created for profit. These are all fundamental functions of the government that necessarily mean the curbing of freedom when they are privatized through a public-to-private money funnel like the one we have today. If we are ever to have social justice, we must have economic justice. And this will be impossible under the provisions of the TPP. So we, the people, will take the streets and do everything in our power to stop these corporations from taking our democracy. People power now. Stop the TPP. People power now. Stop the TPP. People
People power now! Stop the TPP! People power now! Stop the TPP!
Thank you so much for letting me take the time out to talk about finance. But now let's move on to our next speaker. We have someone to talk about labor, and that someone is our very special Steve Zeltzer, who's a labor council member.